You know, like I remember in college, I printed out a Lamborghini and I had posted it on my mirror. I said, someday I'm gonna go get that Lamborghini. What's up, GQ? I'm Emmanuel Sanders, and this is how I made, saved, and spent my first $1 million. I grew up in a small country town outside of Houston called Belleville, Texas, a population like 5,000. So I grew up, man, Texas football is, in my opinion, the best football. So I grew up with that Friday night lights feel, you know, playing for your city and playing for your town. My first job, I remember I worked at 2 jobs, but they were right next to each other. So it was a hair salon, and then it was like a game room type place, like a pool hall type place. And for the salon, I would take out the trash. I was probably like 14, 13. And then for the game room, I would go over there and just sit over there all day and clean the machines and stuff like that, just to try to make some money. It was like my little hustle as a 13, 14-year-old. My football career kind of took out my sophomore year, actually, in high school. And that's when I started gaining traction. College scouts started coming around and noticed my talent. It was a school that definitely was one of the first ones to give me a scholarship offer, and they stuck around even when other teams started to figure out about me or hear about me, you know, so I stay loyal to them.
What was it like finally hearing your name come around?
Oh man, it felt good. It was like a dream come true. It was everything that I ever wanted. But I knew it was an opportunity, you know, to go in, but that doesn't mean that I was gonna, you know, make a lot of money. I knew I was gonna make some money, but once I got into the league, I understood that it was way more money to be made and a lot more work to be put in.
What was that feeling when you first signed your first contract?
Oh man, like when you asked me that question, the song that was playing in my head is Emmanuel Sanders, "Must Be the Money." That's how I felt, man. And that Kanye song, "Wait till I get my money." Right? Like, I got my money right now. I'm about to go buy everything that I wanted. You can see the details of my rookie contract here. You heard how I made my first $1 million. Now this is how I spent my first $1 million. Within the span of I got my big contract, I spent about $3 to $4 million. So imagine this is $3 to $4 million, because $1 million is just not enough. So when I signed my deal, I went and purchased a house out in Houston. I think I spent like $2.5 million on that. I dropped it. It was 14,000 square feet. I had 2 movie theaters. I had a full-court basketball. I told myself, I'm about to live the life. I'm about to live the dream that I always wanted. 2.5 on a house, right, when I got my first deal. Then I came back and I said, you know what? I got the house. I got a 7-car garage. I said, I've always wanted a Lamborghini. I remember when I was in college, I would put a Lamborghini on the mirror. I said, I'm gonna go and get that Lamborghini. So right when I got the house, I went and got me a Lamborghini Gallardo. I dropped that. Then I said, you know what? I also told Mike Wallace one time we were sitting in the pool that I was gonna go get the Rolls Royce. So I went and got the Rolls Royce Wraith right after I got the Lamborghini. Boom. So then I got that. So I had the house, I had the cars. I also had a Range Rover, so you see, obviously, the Lamborghini and the Rolls Royce, that's high. The Range Rover was probably half of that, so I just keep that right there. But obviously, you know, I wasn't the only one that did it all to help me make it to the NFL. So obviously I had to take care of my people. So I went and bought my grandma a house, right? I bought my grandma a house. I took care of all my people, right? I got my sister a house. Then, obviously, you know, I had the house, I had the cars, I took care of my people. Then I would look down and my clothes wasn't right, so I had to get me a budget for my clothes. So I started going crazy. I started spending crazy money on shoes, on clothes, Louis Vuitton, Gucci. I was like, I'm about to live the dream because I worked hard to do it. Like I said, traveling. I started traveling. I started going to Miami. I started coming out to LA. Like I said, I'm from a small country town in Belleville, Texas, so I started traveling a lot. I started hanging out a lot. I started, hanging with my boys a lot. But again, that wasn't just my first million. That took me about 3 million. But I tell you this, you might think that I done blew all my money. Nah. I had a financial advisor, and I was able to spend that because that's what I made, and I did it the right way. And that's why right now, I'm sitting back and I'm blessed, and I'm still doing good. So, obviously, it seems as if I'm spending all this money, right? But the house, it was 2.5 million. I got a loan at 1% with the bank, which I put down X amount of dollars, right? I took that, 30,000, and instead of spending 2.5, I reinvested that, put it in the stock market, where I got a loan at 1%, but it was reinvesting. I was making 15 to 20% on my money. The only thing that I really blew, even my grandma's house, I got an interest rate. The only thing that really was wasting my money was the cars, because that depreciates, in which I was still able to sell those, and the clothes, and the traveling. But traveling, I'll spend money any day of the week on experience. Experiences of traveling and being even more cultured, I'll always spend that. Clothes, to me, yes, is a waste of money, but I like clothes. That's what I like, so it is what it is. I'll spend the money on that. But the rest of you have to be smart about it, right? You have to have a financial person who knows exactly what they're doing, and knows when to spend the money, how to spend the money, and be budgeted so that, you don't go broke. Every time I talk to young guys, that's what I tell them. I said, man, make sure you have your finances set up, and make sure that you have a budget in which you know what you're spending. I tell people all the time, and a couple of guys that come in the locker room, I say, so if I went and bought a cheeseburger and you went and bought a cheeseburger, I said, you're spending the money that you made this past game. I'm spending the money that my money has made. Make sure you invest in your money in stocks, mutual bonds, stuff like that, and setting it up, set your budget up so that your money grows, and over time, it just goes up and up. It goes up more and more and more, as time goes along. Now that I done got older, I've sold all my cars. I only have 2 cars right now. I used to have like 5 cars. When I was a young guy, I just wanted to live the NFL lifestyle, right? I had all the cars, I had the biggest house. Now, I just want a 6,000, 5,000 square foot house. You give me 2 cars, there's no basic car now. I take a Range Rover, and right now I'm driving a Rolls Royce Cullinan. And then, like I said, I still like my clothes. I'm starting to get away from that. It's crazy how when you're young, like you want all this stuff, and then once you have it, you like it, but at the end of the day, it all kind of fades away. At least for me, it is now. And I'm now to the point, I got 2 beautiful kids, I got a beautiful wife, I got a beautiful family. And man, I'm looking forward to putting more in this pile over here of traveling the world with my kids and experiencing like this beautiful planet that God has created. Try to live my best life until, my last day. Once again, man, this is Emmanuel Sanders. I appreciate you guys watching. Salute.